I am Michelle. I am the head of education at A.T.A.I. And I'm telling you all the interesting stuff. You don't know anything that you can do, but I'm the one that trains you to do that. So I think this is the Aesthetics Training Academy Ireland, and we are probably the leading provider of, well, we like to think we're the leading provider of training for postgraduate doctors, nurses, and dentists. So really, our objective of our training is just two things. Really easy. We want you to be confident and we want you to be competent when you leave. That's the only thing that matters. So when you go out of here, that you really feel competent to do your aesthetics treatments. Okay, and there's no other way to do that other than to get hands-on training. So I remember when I have been in aesthetics for 17 years, when I learned initially, it took me forever to find just one person to teach me just one thing. So I went off to do a little Botox course in the morning, a little bit of lectures in some strange hotel somewhere, and then brought my armful, injected a bit of Botox in the afternoon. That was my training done. One injection, and you go into practice, and there's nowhere else to learn. There was no internet, there was no YouTube, that kind of thing. So I really struggled a lot to learn. You just have to basically just do it. But the difference over here is that there's no magic wand to replace any kind of training except hands-on. You just have to do the practice. It's like anything you do in medicine. You have to do the practice. And then the question you need to ask yourself is the training that you're doing evidence-based. Okay? Is it just some strange course that, just teaches you random stuff, or is everything that you're learning based on evidence? And we're definitely evidence-based. And then the other thing you need to the understanding is, why would you choose A.T.A.I? Basically because we've got the best in-class training, and we also have visual support when you return home. And then we have some videos that you can re-watch to refresh yourself. I'm always available to help you with any complications should you have any. So it's an ongoing support system that you really need when you go into aesthetics medicine. And then there's no fears to be had when you wonder, okay, we use the sliding training. These are the fears that the patients have, and then the people that are coming for training is who's training me. Okay, so we have a really good team of trainers at our clinic, a really dynamic team of women, just like sitting in this room. So they're all dedicated. So Emma and Megan do more if you sign up for any micro-needling or peels or those kind of things, or IPLs, they will be handling the skincare part of it. And then Lynn and Leanne do most of your training for your fillers. And then Dr. Asta and Dr. Emily will handle most of your Botox training. I do all the, we'll go through what I do. I do all the sort of introductory days and just get you going, and then you'll go into clinic with the other doctors. So this is our training space. As you can see, it's a really nice space to train in. We have a lot of fun in here. Once there's no chairs in here, there's just a lot of beds. Everybody has their beds. There's not a worry about space or anything like that. And we like to do a lot of, obviously, everything that we do is hands-on training. So just to break down the courses, what we have is foundation phase courses, which is if you haven't done any fillers or any Botox at all, would be absolutely what you need to do. You need to be doing Botox and you need to be doing some kind of fillers. So those are the foundation phase courses that we offer over here. And then if you're doing botulinum toxin A, which is your Botox and your Azulua training, you'll have online training that you'll have access to as soon as you sign up. And then what happens is you come to us for your actual practical training on your day one with Botox and fillers. I will take you, and we're usually a group of maybe 3-4 people, and we do everything practical related. So everything you need to know. This is the little book that you get. It's a hands-on booklet. It's a workbook. You can write your notes in it. There's space for notes to be written afterwards. We go through everything practical, like what does it involve, what are the products involved, how to mix them, how to select patients, so that all of that is out of your mind when you come to doing actual lecture, doing actual practical. So that when you do your practical day, there's no time wasted on doing tons of theory. Okay, so this is the little booklet that we have that comes, and then when you come to me on day one, we have I have endless amount of slides that we show you, and we go through everything in detail. This is just some of the slides out of um, the toxin training courses that you will have, and we go through everything that you need to know. We do case studies, we do everything. So in the morning, we do a whole lot of theory, case studies, how to mix your acid, how to mix your Botox, how to do everything. You play with a little bit of the product so you can get used to drawing them up. I do some demos, and in the afternoon, you're already marking up patients and doing 1 or 2 patients yourself so that you're ready to go into training clinic in your clinic days, which are 2 or 3 days to do practical. So the practical days and clinic days is we set it up like a proper clinic. You go to our other clinic, and our doctors are there in the room doing consultation. You're with them. You can be as proactive as you like. You can take control of the whole clinic and do it just like you would do it in your own clinic, and we're there to help you and guide you through it. So if you have any problems, that's fine. It's the best way to learn, as if it was exactly in your own clinic. So that's fine. And then, like I said, we do case studies for all sorts of groups. We have live video demonstrations that you can keep watching if you need to do. By the time you finished your day 1 training, you'd be able to make these kinds of patients up. You'd be able to do injections really easily. We're well on the way to doing Botox. I'm going to skip through them. They are available to watch when you come. Then the dermal filler is the same. So what we do is we do a day 1. We do a day 1 training. Will you come with me again? And then what we do is the same thing. We go through everything related to actual dermal fillers and what you need to do with the dermal fillers. And then from day 3 to 4, so from day 3 to 2 to 4 days is your actual practical training, where we book full days of patients for you to just do the clinical practice all day long. In our clinical training for fillers, what we'll be doing is so the day 1 with me is everything sort of practical related. We do a bit of theory in the morning, not a lot of theory, enough for you to just understand. We'll go through what you're going to do, and then demo you some patients in the morning, and then by the afternoon you're already injecting one of your own patients. 3 new students this morning, all of them injected before they left this afternoon. So it's pretty hands-on. So this is the kind of training, this is part of the training for fillers. What you'll be going through is sort of key factors about hyaluronic acid, everything Amanda spoke about, and she was talking about G primes and this filler dynamics. I teach you all, of all the fillers, what's going on with the fillers, how do they work, how do you inject them, how to select a filler. And we've invited a couple of industry leaders over here. So we're not very brand specific, but we will teach you about all the good brands, which is great. We leave the decision up to you. I'll guide you, but we leave the decision up to you on what brand to teach. But I'm happy to teach you whatever you come things. I'm going to be working on. This is the product I'm going to be using. We know it. We can teach you that on it as well. So we have a little bit of Galderma's range over here. They have a very nice range. They've got 2 ranges in their portfolio. They've got a little bit what they call their optimum balance technology, and they've got their natural technology. So a little bit of interesting, and just the design and where would you put it and where would you use it in your bags today. I'm sure you're going to find these little pamphlets in there. Okay, and then a little bit, we definitely cover a little bit on Abigail's Juvederm, just so that you know what's out there. We do a little bit of Teoxane, we do techniques, how to use these techniques, the importance of where to place product, why is it important that you're placing a product in the right place, and technique and product is important. And then also just understanding aging, aging related to actually fixing the problems with fillers. So these are some of the slides that we use in our training. And then if you're doing training, what you're going to do is you're going to do, in basic filler training, you're going to do lips. Lips is a standard kind of you have to learn. And then we do what we call a modified sort of 6-point facial rejuvenation. So we teach you to do cheek fillers and a little bit of lifting for the corners, a little bit of the mouth lifting, a little bit of pre-gel sulfur. So something that would enable you, if you went away here, you'd probably do between those 2, would be most of your fillers anyway. And this is the way we mark it out in our little technique that we use. And then again, we have our videos pre-recorded, so if you ever want to watch them and have them, it's just some techniques on filler injections. Okay, and we try and keep things as simple as possible so that you feel really comfortable doing it. And then the other besides learning lips, what you'll be using is 6-point facial rejuvenation to teach you how to mark them up, how to find your points you won't know anything about much about Allergan at the moment, but they have what they call codes. We teach you a little bit about codes so that if you go out there and you hear about them, you know exactly what they're talking about. So these are codes, but more importantly, teach you anatomically where are you injecting. You know, it's not just a plain number. So you're putting an injection needle here and an injection. You need to know why you're doing that and anatomically where is that situated. So that's really important for good outcomes. So just parts of some of the slides that we use, and that this is our what we call our little 6-point facial rejuvenation. This is what you'll be doing in terms of lip fillers that you saw a little bit earlier. You'll be doing that, and then doing these kind of injections in terms of cheeks and that when you're doing filler training. So then that's the basic training. Once you've mastered that and you feel like you need to have a little, but these are intermediate courses or mid-face masterclass. In those kind of classes are where we really teach you layering type of techniques, a little bit about more advanced techniques. We have a mid-face masterclass. We have temple and teardrop, so your under eyes and your temple. We have what I call perioral rejuvenation, as well as sort of advanced techniques for lip fillers, and then jawline and chin go together in a training, and then also do advanced botulinum toxin training courses. The mid-face masterclass, just some slides on it. All sorts of things that we train you on. We'd be doing a bit of cannula work as well over there, and then just some tricks on beautification, highlighting and lifting, and then again, just make sure that you understand MD codes if you ever run into it. I mean, this is the type of thing that you would be able to be doing by the time you left, which is really good, with only 2 syringes of filler. Where's the 2 syringes of filler. You know, you can do really good work if you just taught properly how to do it. You know, fillers doesn't have to be this crazy, scary thing where everybody looks crazy and out of proportion. So that's really nice, just with nice results with that. And then tear trough and temple, we go over all of in our training. We do these kind of markings on patients. We make sure you understand anatomy and physiology of the filler at the time, and then the area. We do a lot of these are just slides from the trainings. They're nothing to they're not chin and chin and jaw masterclass is also there, which is quite nice. Just some videos from some slides from that training, all about patient selection, um, how to inject them, how to select patients, what products are you going to use where. Again, Lynn is our trainer. If you do dermal filler training, you'll have a lot. Lynn will train you a lot. So she's just my model. I use her for everything because she's so photogenic. So Lynn is my little model I draw all over, and we use it as Lynn again. And then just that's chill. And then so once you've done master classes, I'd say your sort of nature of what you will do is you need to do botulinum toxin training, and then you need to do your basic filler training. After that, go and get some experience and learn that. But one thing to add to your portfolio when you're just starting out is something that will help you with skin health. So I always say to patients, this is what we're doing. If you see a mattress, it's got a sheet on it. The sheet is like the skin that you can see. What's under it is a mattress. When you're putting filler in, we're filling the mattress, but sometimes we need a bit of sheet work. So these are your sheet workers, okay? So remember, we're working in different layers. So we run courses for all of these sort of what I call sheet workers or skin health products, and they're really nice to add to your portfolio in your patients, because sometimes in your practice, because sometimes you have patients that don't necessarily maybe want Botox, they don't want a little bit of filler, but they're happy to have something that will just make their skin beautiful. And I think that's more so now than ever. People are after really good healthy skin, and if you don't have really good healthy skin, it doesn't matter that you do it pump it full of fillers. Botox is not going to work. So skin health is really important. So any of these will work really well. Restylane have their skin boosters. We have everybody would know Profiler, PRP is the other thing. We do a bit of Jelly Pro, and we use sort of products from Chroma, even mesotherapy. Every filler range will also have a fine line filler that you could use in small amounts in the skin as well. So we train you on any of those. So I'd say Botox, filler, and something skin health is what you need to do first, just to get yourself going. And then our advanced courses, what we do is I teach true biostimulators and threads. Those are the advanced kind of things. When we talk Amanda spoke a little bit about Elance as one of their products, but two biosimilars that we're training at the moment over here is Sculpture, Elance, and Harmonica. Okay, it doesn't really mean that much to you, but they're different to fillers in that they're more biostimulating. So the volume doesn't come so much from the product itself, like a filler. The volume or the tissue quality comes from the product stimulating a tissue to make your own tissue. And to me, I think this is the future of aesthetics medicine. Would you agree? Absolutely. I mean, I just moved so much more away from tons and tons of filler to biostimulators. But you need that filler to get you through to understanding how to inject and working with stuff because it's a little bit more, I wouldn't say it's safer, it just gives you that little bit of safety net. So biostimulators is really, I think, will be the future of aesthetic medicine. So this sculpture is some of the, and these are our own results. These are my results for sculpture, and then this is Elansa. These are not my results, but this is Amanda's, and this is some of my own results with Monica. So really nice. They look natural. They make the skin look really natural. I always say biostimulators are things that will work on the mattress and the sheet. You know, they will work both ways. So they're really, really good. And then one of the extra advanced training is your thread lifting. I do silhouette soft training and PDO threads as well. So either or you can choose. I think there's a whole range of stuff. It was easy when I learned because we had one range of fillers that was available and that was it, and we had Botox. And before anything else came out, we had 4 or 5 or 6 years with just those two products. We were really good at them, and then the other stuff started coming out. Now there's so much to learn and it's really difficult to choose what you need to learn, but master the basics first. Okay, so these are PDO threads. These are some of the training slides that we use when we do PDO threads, and just what they are and how to insert them and what to look. This is some results of that. And then also we teach to use the small little mono threads, where you could be using them sort of under the eye, forehead, neck, these places. And it's not kind of an either or. The really important thing is to combine treatments. Does it look scary? They look scary. They look worse than on the picture. And it's not kind of, well, am I going to do fillers or am I going to do Botox or am I going to do this, whatever. Combination treatments are always going to be better in the long run. And your patients will kind of proceed through it. You start them on a little bit of Botox and a little bit of fillers, and then you'll be doing some skin boosters for skin health and those kind of things. And eventually, they'll do a little bit of step up to those biostimulators. And this is just how Silhouette Soft looks like. It's completely different design to the other threads. This is actually me putting some of them in. That's before and after, only 5 days later, which is great. Great natural results. They just look really lifted. You can get these results without having sort of a filler look. This is also just 1 month, 2 months, and 3 months later. With any biostimulation, any kind of thread, you're always in the long term. It's going to be better as time goes by. They don't always look as amazing immediately, but as time goes by, they actually get better over time. So a little bit of silhouette soft. And then the most important people are your patients. Okay, this is what we do them for. And they're really fun to have. So I always play this little video about my patients. Okay, this is not what your patients are supposed to look like, but anyway, that's okay. So anything you want to ask us, just let us know. And like I said, we do all the training part of it, all the products that they talk about, so we teach you how to use them. Okay. Now you can see all my.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
What about teaching hyaluronidase so that it was, how to reverse something? Say you're not happy with
It forms part of your basic training. It absolutely has to. And then also, I mean, I don't want to go dive into this, but there's a complications little part. So this is all the things I kind of teach in day one. There's a nice little summary in the back of your manual because there's a manual for the Botox as well as the filler. The manual has all this practical information and we go through it. You make yourself little notes, whatever. So we do teach it. And you absolutely have to know. So we go through the basics of it, and then, like I said, there's some quick references in the back. So if you have to do it on your own, just and I forgot what to do. It's all there in point form, so that's fine. Okay. So we do that. So we do a bit of complication management.
on average, how long like each course take?
So the thing is that you're doing 2 or 3 days of practical. So with me, you spend a whole day, basically introductory day, and then you spend 2 or 3 days, then 2 or 3 days actually in the clinic injecting. We line up patients just like it would be. So it takes you as long as it takes you to get through those 3 or 4 days. So if you happen to have, and we train most every day, so there's always a class running. So if you're signed up for 3 days, you might not. Rachel is better at answering this.
So the course, running all of our foundation courses are run in two sections. You do your online learning first, that's completed in your own time. We stay on average kind of 5 to 11 weeks, but I've had students that have done it in 2 weeks. It really depends on your own time schedule, if you have holidays, family, work. There is no time limit for the online learning. Obviously, the sooner you get it done, the sooner you come into the clinic for the practical training. And then we stay on average 3 days for Botox and 4 days for filler in total. But again, you have to be signed up by our tutors. If by your final day you aren't signed up as competent, you are required to come back for extra training. And the same works if you don't feel completely confident, you can request to come back for extra training days.
What about laser and IPL?
Laser and IPL, that is run over, again, you do some online learning, and it is run over 4 consecutive Tuesdays, 3 to 4 consecutive Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then after that, you have A.T.A.I exams. So we do have, like that, with our needling and things, we do have A.T.A.I, sorry, everyone's turning around this far. So we do have part of, like, we have a course like the Skin Complete course. So the Skin Complete course, it includes your dermal fillers and your needling, your peels, and you can add electives on like your laser. So it has everything in for you basically.
That would be good, you know, to have everything.
Exactly. So your online learning for that might take a little bit longer, but you can do each step bit individually. You can do your dermal filler side, come in and get your practical training for that. You'll be signed up on that. You tend to do your needling and your peels together, and then you have your A.T.A.I exams for it, and then with dermatology, you actually complete their kind of workshops as well, so that you can get the dermatology pen and kind of get started straight away with it, which is nice. And then the laser and IPL is run together, so you do laser hair removal, IPL skin rejuvenation, and then you can add on like the idea of tattoo removal, vascular laser, so there's lots of options on that. But like Michelle said, it's really important. You want to treat the skin as well as your Botox and your fillers. So the Skin Complete course is a really nice course to include everything in it. But so myself, Lynn, and Michelle all can work in A.T.A.I, Patrick as well, so we're all around to speak and ask questions to, and I also can ask all the representatives from their companies questions about setting up and things like that. So we try as much as possible to help you get started. So you do your course and we don't just leave you to be like, off you go now, go train. Yeah.
Do most people start off like working a few hours in a clinic or something?
So we have done a few different options. So the likes of we have therapy clinics, CC, even they've all come to us looking for our students because they like the idea that they've done long form courses. They haven't gone and done 1 day courses where they've just injected one person and they're told, yep, you're certified and can go and inject competently. So they've all come looking, so they're constantly looking for staff. And we have the contact details of them.
You don't have to be a doctor, you take nurses.
So nurses, you're looking more at River Medical, later and same clinic. And then a lot of rooms are actually set up independently. So I don't know if you've heard of NM Aesthetics down in Park and Shannon, where you have Victoria Aesthetics in Kildare. And so they actually set up their own clinics basically. They have a doctor that might come in maybe once, twice a week. They do the Botox and then the nurse does everything else basically. But we try and help set up as much as possible, and that's why we have our reps here to help you get set up as well. So we try not to leave you just out in the world by yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if anybody has questions, we're all mulling around the sandwiches, water. Anybody has any other questions now? Perfect. So, here we go.